A popular trend among social media users allows them to keep parts of their lives hidden. We'll tell you why college students are drawn to the idea.
And 120-foot poles have been popping up around Muncie. I'll tell you the inside scoop on the purpose they serve.
Sunny skies and warm temperatures for the next couple of days with rain on the way. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Alex Kilmer.
And I'm Val Jones. Thanks for joining us.
Happening now, Muncie Community Schools is holding its first board meeting since the state fact finders sided with the Teachers Association. NewsLink's Tony Sandlaben has been following the situation with MCS and is live right now. Tony, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm standing outside Muncie Central High School where the school board meeting just wrapped up. The theme of the meeting, trying to prevent the state takeover of MCS. People even were handed sheets of paper just like this one with information about what a state takeover would mean, why they should care, and what they can do to try to prevent it if they believe they should do so. Now, one thing also to note, the school board's debt reduction plan was announced at this meeting, and it included the 5 schools that could possibly close in the coming future. The Facilities Committee recommends closing Storer Elementary School in the fall, selling Northside Middle School and leasing the property until a new Northside Middle School can be built on Storer property, closing Grissom and Sutton Elementary Schools in the 2018-2019 school year, closing Mitchell Elementary School when possible, and also closing the Muncie Area Career Center whenever possible. We will, of course, continue to update you on these MCS developments as we get them. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night for a full run-through of tonight's board meeting. Live in Muncie, Tony Sandlaben, NewsLink Indiana.
Thank you for that update, Tony. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
A controversial author is speaking at Indiana University tonight, and some have voiced their displeasure about it. Indy Star reports 175 staff, faculty, and students signed an open letter to Michael McRobbie, the university president. The letter encourages sponsors to denounce Charles Murray's, quote, racist views and to reconsider their decision to invite him to our campus. Murray is the co-author of a book about racial differences in intelligence.
The Muncie Sanitation Department has been receiving complaints after some residents saw tax increases. The county treasurer says over 60,000 property tax statements were mailed last week to more than 45,000 taxpayers. One element that saw a consistent increase was the stormwater fee. In the last year, the Muncie Sanitary District's fee increased $18, leaving property owners with a $90 bill. Deputy Auditor Donna Patterson says the fee increased substantially, adding, quote, "We can't get any answers from anybody why. Tax bills are due May 10th.
If you're driving down Bethel or McGalliard, you may notice something out of the ordinary.
NewsLink Indiana reporter Bree Isom spoke to the city to find out what these things are.
Thanks, guys. You're right. These tall poles are out of the ordinary. There are tall silver telephone poles that are being built around Muncie. One pole is off of Bethel by the Best Western Hotel and the Marathon gas station, one on McGalliard, and one by the Kia and American Chevrolet dealerships. These poles are cell towers provided by the company Mobilite. Mobilite is a global provider of wireless solutions. They design and build networks to deliver, quote, optimal coverage in the most demanding environments. Linda Hayes, an employee at the street department in Muncie, which helps in the process of building these poles, explained what goes into building things like this. She said all the poles have to be given an address and companies must fill out a right-of-way use application. Property owners such as businesses are not notified when something like this is going to be built. Best Western in Muncie has a pole that is almost blocks their sign. Hayes said, quote, if they have to move the poles because the city has to build something, it's at the Mobilite's cost. Businesses that are near the telephone poles have declined to comment. Live in the newsroom, Bree Isom, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thank you for that update, Bree.
And more poles will be built within the next 4 months.
Not everyone who uses social media wants to share their personal lives with the online world, but a new Instagram trend is allowing users to share personal and intimate photos with close friends. NewsLink Indiana's Tanner Holbrook has more about the new private method and the effect it can have on students' lives.
Among Instagram users, it's a way to share private photos or videos you wouldn't normally post on a public account. It's called a Finsta, or a fake Instagram.
I think it was more than anything just things that I would want to share with me and a smaller group of people. Not necessarily pictures that were inappropriate to share, but pictures that I wouldn't show to, like my family.
According to the New York Times, a Finsta is a fake or second Instagram account primarily used to hide scandalous and overtly sexual behavior and function with anonymity to troll peers. But what happens when having a Finsta affects activities that you're involved in? Well, one Bradley University student was punished by her Greek organization once for having a fake Instagram account. When applying for a leadership position within her organization, she was questioned about her posts during the interview process.
It was definitely awkward, in my interviews, because I had to talk around it.
Her lesson to college students: be more careful when sharing posts on a Finstagram.
Really, I think the only thing that people don't really think about when it comes to Finstas is that, outside people and people that you follow can screenshot the posts that you have, and then they send it to their friends because they think it's funny, but then all these outside people that you would have never thought would have access to these pictures do.
In Muncie, Tanner Holbrook, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thank you, Tanner. Now, Alex, one thing that isn't fake is this beautiful weather we've been having.
That's right. It's a warm, sunny day outside. Chelsea, can we expect this nice weather to continue?
Yes, Val and Alex, we can continue to see this warm and sunny conditions for the next few days, and we're still sitting at 54 degrees right now currently here in Muncie. Our winds are from the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Looking at our radar right now, we still have those overcast skies that we've been seeing all day, and then we take zoom out, we see those storms that moved in yesterday has now been pushed off to the east, and those storms were associated with the cold front that pushed through. Behind this cold front is a high pressure system that will be moving in tomorrow, bringing our dry conditions and for our and sunny conditions for tomorrow. I'll let you know about above average temperatures for tomorrow, our rain and thunderstorm chances, and our Easter forecast in my full weather forecast.
Apologies from the White House. We'll tell you what comment stirred controversy in the nation's capital.
And find out what country's nuclear arsenal has the U.S. on the alert. This and more when we return.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer issued a public apology today after making an insensitive Holocaust reference.
And frankly, I mistakenly used an inappropriate and insensitive reference to the Holocaust, for which, frankly, there is no comparison. And for that, I apologize.
Spicer was under fire today after comparing Syrian President Bashar al-Assad to Adolf Hitler, incorrectly saying that Hitler did not use chemical weapons during World War II.
Today, United Airlines CEO Oscar Munoz released a new statement apologizing to customers. He called the forcible removal of David Dow from a flight Sunday, quote, truly horrific. He also said United would review the incident and its policies and announce the results by April 30th. Munoz received criticism for his two statements yesterday about the altercation, where he described Dow as, quote, disruptive and belligerent. An attorney representing the passenger said his client is being treated at a Chicago hospital for his injuries he sustained in the incident.
U.S. Customs agents are ramping up the searches of electronic devices belonging to international travelers. According to the Customs and Border Protection, around 15,000 devices have been checked over the last 5 months, a substantial increase to last year's numbers of devices checked, which is about 8,000. The CPB explained the increase was an adaptation to current threat information. Last month, the U.S. banned laptops and similar devices on flights coming from 8 primarily Muslim countries, saying al-Qaeda may be figuring out new ways to hide explosives in those devices.
President Donald Trump took to Twitter again today, tweeting if Beijing doesn't solve the, quote, North Korean problem, the U.S. will do it without China. Will Ripley has the story.
Brand new images of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un presiding silently over the Supreme People's Assembly in Pyongyang. The man they call Supreme Leader sitting beneath giant statues of his father and grandfather, North Korea's 2 late leaders. The symbolism is clear. The third-generation leader, like his father and grandfather before him, continues to hold absolute power over North Korea and its growing nuclear arsenal. That arsenal has become central to what many here see as a potential showdown with the U.S. After a frantic series of North Korean missile launches, this week the U.S. moved warships, including the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson, off the Korean peninsula. That move prompted an angry response from the North Koreans overnight, hand-delivered to us in Pyongyang. Calling the warships reckless acts of aggression, the government told us if the U.S. dares to choose a military option, the DPRK is willing and ready to react to any mode of war desired by the U.S. President Trump responded in turn on Twitter today, writing, North Korea is looking for trouble. If China decides to help, that would be great. If not, we will solve the problem without them. USA. And in a second tweet, I explained to the president of China that a trade deal with the U.S. will be far better for them if they solve the North Korean problem. Blunt words for the Kim Jong-un regime and for Chinese President Xi Jinping, who made no promises of specific action against the North Korean government after meeting Trump at Mar-a-Lago last week. China is North Korea's only meaningful trading partner, but it's not clear how far China is willing to go to rein in Pyongyang, or even if economic pressure would work. Tensions on the Korean peninsula at their highest level in years, with U.S. warships off the coast, and just days after President Trump ordered a missile strike on the Syrian government, perceived by some inside North Korea as a thinly veiled threat. This North Korean newsreader saying, we are not intimidated. North Korean state media warning of a nuclear strike if provoked. Will Ripley, CNN, Pyongyang, North Korea.
North Korea issued a forceful response to the deployment, saying it would counter, quote, reckless acts of aggression. Chelsea, what can we expect in weather after the break?
Well, we continue to expect warm temperatures like we had today, and I'll let you know just how warm it will get when we return from the break.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Now, unfortunately, I have heard of some rain coming in the future forecast.
Yeah, that could put a damper on some of the nice weather we've been having. Chelsea, what can you tell us?
Well, we will have some rain that's coming at the end of the week, but first we have to see a couple of great days headed on throughout for tomorrow and for Thursday. But first, taking a look at our current conditions across the state. We're cooling down from our high of 65 today. Lafayette at 50 degrees, Indianapolis 55, and Bloomington at 55 as well. And currently here in Muncie, we have temperatures sitting at 54 degrees with the winds from the northwest at 8 miles per hour. And then we're going to continue seeing our overcast skies throughout the evening as we saw throughout today and may clear up in the overnight hours. Tonight we'll reach a low of 40. It'll be cool, so make sure that you do have a jacket if you're headed outside tonight, and also for your start of your morning for tomorrow. Looking at for tomorrow, we're going to have a high pressure that's going to move on in. It's going to create dry conditions and sunny conditions that's going to help warm up temperatures to 64 degrees. It's going to be very nice outside. Winds will be from the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, if you have any allergies when the spring weather arrives, don't worry, we don't have a high risk for our allergies and pollen for tomorrow, so it's going to be a very nice day to be outside. This will be at 3 p.m. tomorrow night. We're going to have 61 degrees, staying in the 60s for tomorrow evening with sunny skies, so it's going to be a very nice day to be outside and running because we do have rain on the way. We're watching a warm front that's going to be bringing some rain for the overnight hours and pushing in on Friday as well. That will continue for this weekend, and also in for our Easter forecast. We'll reach a high of 71. If you have any Easter plans, Easter egg hunts, make sure you do it in the morning because we have afternoon scattered thunderstorms, and it'll be a little windy with 15 to 25 mile per hour winds. And our 7-day forecast, it'll be great for the next couple of days, then rain for Friday and Saturday, high of 78 on Saturday, and then thunderstorms for Sunday, and then a little bit cooler for the beginning of next week, but with dry conditions.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. Now, Peter, what's going on in sports?
Well, maybe some rain on Sunday, but it was beautiful today. And did they play baseball? You bet they played baseball in Delaware County today. We've got highlights from high school games all across the area, including the defending 1A state champs. Plus, could Ball State baseball keep the bats rolling? We've got an answer for you on the other side of the break. That's next in sports.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
This is NewsLink Indiana Sports, presented by The Haven.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Well, if you like baseball, boy, do we have a show for you tonight. Beautiful April days in Delaware County can only mean one thing: America's pastime. Going down in the 7-6-5, we begin tonight with Ball State, which was looking to stay hot at the dish. Ball State hosting Valparaiso today, trying to extend a season-high 3-game win streak. Pick things up in the bottom of the first. Caleb Staten, boy, he's been hot lately. 7-game hit streak. He drives home the game's first run. A little bit later on in the first, Matt Eppers, that's an RBI double off the glove of the second baseman. 2 runs come around to score. That made it 4-0 Cardinals. Ball State wins today, 11-2. Get this, folks. They've now scored 57 runs in their last 4 games.
It was nice to get runs in the first inning. So we had some quality at-bats and been hitting the ball in the barrel, which has been something that really has increased over the last 4 games, and that's why we've had some success.
This weekend against Western was huge to get our confidence back on track and to sweep and kind of get back in the race a little bit. So Bowling Green coming here at our place, ESPN 3 is going to be here. It's going to be a big series. We're excited. We know if we play our game, we're a really good team. It'll be a good series, and we're ready to go.
Meanwhile, the high school ranks tonight. Daleville, really big team. They got some really big rings. The 1A defending state champions taking on Yorktown tonight. In the first inning, Jordan Spangler, that's a single to begin the onslaught against the Broncos. Yorktown up 3-0. Later on, how about Carter Durham? Give me a double, Carter. Couple runs come around to score for the Tigers. This one was all Y-Tizzy Town. Final score, Yorktown 14, Daleville 2 this evening. Meanwhile, out in Westdale, look at the kind folks out in Westdale. Bundled up for tonight's game against the Delta Eagles. How about Delta's Jake Van Pelt? That'll do. 2-run lead as both Adam Haynes and Addison Coffey come home for the Eagles. Later on, Warriors' Cody Smith. Now this ball is going to get popped up in the air by Delta's Charlie May. Cody's got to come a long way, but he gets there. Ultimately, though, Westdale did not make enough plays. Eagles win the game on the road tonight. Final score, 11-2. Meanwhile, Muncie Central played host to the Richmond Red Devils in an NCC showdown this evening. Down 4-1 in the fourth. Here comes Richmond. Parker Smith gets things going for his team. He drives in Austin Turner. That sparked a 5-run fourth-inning frame, but back come the Bearcats. How about Zach Schultz? He answers, puts the Bearcats back in front once again, and that's all they needed from there on out. The home team takes this one tonight. Final score, Muncie Central 10, Richmond 5. And finally, the Muncie Burris Owls take on Hagerstown tonight. Good to see the Owls in action. This one was all Tigers, though, from the beginning. A Burris error allows Hagerstown Trent Weiss to steal third base. That loads the bases, and Owen Gallagher takes it from there. He puts the ball into left center field, driving home 2 for Hagerstown. Burris falls tonight. Final score 10-0, and they are now, unfortunately, guys, 0-2 on the season. But a busy day for high school baseball, and man, those Ball State Cardinals are really swinging the bats well right now.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Peter.
Absolutely.
A Star Wars charity campaign is giving fans the opportunity to star in a Han Solo movie.
And find out which Grammy award-winning musician sued for millions of dollars. Your entertainment news is next.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Robert Segovia with all things entertainment. Star Wars has announced a charity contest that will give fans the chance to appear in a new Han Solo movie. Mark Hamill and Daisy Ridley appeared on Good Morning America to announce the contest. The fundraiser is a part of a partnership between UNICEF, Starlight, and the Force for Change charity campaign. Prizes will be raffled to donors at the end of each week from April 11th to May 11th. The grand prize will be awarded at the very end. This event celebrates Star Wars' 40th anniversary. Ed Sheeran settled a plagiarism lawsuit for $20 million. One of Sheeran's chart-topping hit singles, Photograph, was recently in hot water. Martin Harrington and Thomas Leonard wrote the song Amazing for 2009 X Factor winner Matt Cardle. They claimed that Photograph was not only similar, but is a copy of the song's very essence. The songwriters were represented by Richard Bush, the attorney who settled the Blurred Lines case. The $20 million plagiarism case was settled outside of court. Facing Addiction is a Ball State student project that will show at Cornerstone on Wednesday. It will showcase stories of Delaware County people impacted by addiction. Facing Addiction is a part of the Facing Project, which is a nonprofit organization looking to connect people and community. 13 students in Ball State's Scholar Program organized the year-long project. The event is Wednesday, April 12th at the Cornerstone Center for the Arts, and admission is free to the public. That's all for your entertainment news. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you very much, Robert. Now, Chelsea, what can you tell us for our final weather?
We're going to have beautiful conditions for the next 2 days. Sunny skies for Wednesday, high of 64, 70 degrees on Thursday. Rain for Friday and Saturday. High of 78 on Saturday with breezy conditions. Sunday, make sure you make your plans and your Easter activities in the morning. We have afternoon thunderstorms with a high of 71 and then back down to a little bit cooler on Monday and Tuesday with dry conditions.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chelsea. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.
You've been watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.